Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hi guys, Sandy Ingram here. Before we get into Iraq's cultural differences, which may or may not upset our investment, you should know that in tomorrow's membership video, we will be discussing two exotic currencies that are set to go up against the US dollar in the coming months. You want to hear what global economists say about these inexpensive investments that can put money into your bank account. Plus, the channel will share a secret, almost like a class code, that almost all day traders understand, that many Westerners do not yet understand. But guys, we are not sure what will happen if or when the Iraqi parliament passes this proposed law. Let's take a look and listen at where or how this law is rooted.
This special report is necessary because the national news media in the United States is blowing up over the possibility of marriage in Iraq to 9-year-old girls. The channel brought this information to you almost a month ago, but now that the media is looking for interesting stories to keep the public's attention, this is one of the stories burning up the international and national news feeds. Here is the official report on the subject. We know that not everyone in Iraq agrees with the new proposed law. However, this tradition dates back to around 570 AD. The practice of allowing Iraqi men to marry girls as young as 9 years old is rooted in a complex mix of religious interpretations, historical traditions, and recent legal developments. The foundation of this practice is linked to certain conservative interpretations of Islamic Sharia law. Some Islamic clerics maintain that girls can marry as soon as they reach puberty, which they define as early as 9 years old, drawing on historical precedents. However, interpretations of this historical account vary widely among Islamic scholars, with many arguing that such practices are not relevant in modern contexts. Iraq's legal framework on marriage was originally defined by the Iraqi Personal Status Law of 1959, which was considered one of the most progressive in the Middle East at the time, setting the legal marriage age at 18. However, judges could grant exceptions for girls as young as 15 with parental consent. These efforts have triggered controversy and protests, particularly among women's rights activists, who see this as a serious setback for women's rights in Iraq. In parts of Iraq, especially in rural and conservative areas, the practice of child marriage is often driven by poverty, tradition, and lack of education. For many families facing economic hardship, marrying off daughters at a young age is seen as a way to secure their financial future or protect their honor. Decades of conflict and instability in Iraq have worsened the situation, leading to a rise in early marriages as families struggle to cope. Opposition to lowering the marriage age is strong among many Iraqis, particularly women's rights activists, who argue that child marriage poses serious risks to girls, including health complications, lack of educational opportunities, and increased vulnerability to domestic abuse. International organizations such as the United Nations and Human Rights Watch have condemned these attempts, urging the Iraqi government to protect the rights of children and women. On the other hand, it's important to recognize that many Islamic scholars and communities do not support child marriage, asserting that such practices are more cultural than religious. In countries like Tunisia, Morocco, and Turkey, Islamic laws have been reinterpreted to raise the legal marriage age, demonstrating that Islamic law is not rigid and can adapt to contemporary social norms. Thus, the movement to lower the marriage age in Iraq reflects deep divisions over how religion, culture, and law should intersect, with significant implications for the rights and futures of young girls in the country.